so at home, go ahead and take a comfortable seat. This is, again, an all levels, beginner-friendly class. 1 hour per Instagram Lives time limits. Later today, I will put out on YouTube the strong vinyasa class that we did on Friday morning. So if you want something stronger today or tomorrow, go ahead and look for that. I'll post about it on Instagram once I put that up. Also, I'll post a new schedule for this coming week's yoga today, so look for that as well. Again, classes are free, so please feel free to just come and take any time. If you're taking classes and you're financially suited to donate and that works for you and you want to, you can do that. It's not required. My Venmo is at Soul Shape Yoga, but again, not required. I'm just super happy to be with you guys in this way. Okay, so go ahead and take a comfortable seat. You can close down your eyes, relax your shoulders. And my most recent teacher that I studied with, she taught us about a concept, or we'll just call it 3-dimensional breath. So a breath that can be felt in the front and back of the ribs evenly, left and right sides of the ribs evenly. So with your eyes closed and letting your awareness turn inward, start to just, without even changing anything, notice where is your breath felt the most. There's no right or wrong answers here, just true to your experience as we close down our sense of sight and we turn inward towards a felt sense of the breath. Notice where and how do you feel the breath the most. And then see if you can really start to mindfully direct your breath into all parts of the lungs. So direct your breath into the back of the lungs as much as you're breathing in the front. Breathe into left and right sides of your rib cage evenly. If you're familiar with the Ujjayi toning of your breath, let yourself tone the back of the throat. So the pranayama of Ujjayi, or that breath, makes this subtle sound as you breathe in and out. I won't take a lot of time to explain that breath today, and I know I said beginner friendly, so if that's confusing to you, breathe in and out of your nose. And if you know how to do the Ujjayi breathing, go ahead and do that as well. Feel your breath all the way around the ribs. And as we stay just a few more moments here, tune into more of your sense experience by listening or noting the sounds that you can hear. You might be able to hear sounds from outside. One of the sounds that you might be able to hear as well is the sound of your breath. Okay, now start to tone at the pelvic floor. So just engage the muscles of your pelvic floor slightly and feel this lift up through the center of the spine. Let that lift up through the center of the spine follow all the way to the top of the head. And now feel like you could deepen your breath even more. So start to put a little more energy behind the breath, filling up in 360 degrees, all the way around the rib cage. For the next few breaths, see if you can inhale to a count of 3 or 4 and exhale to a count of 5 or 6. So again, a really deep inhale, 360 degrees around your lungs. And when you exhale, just exhale to a slightly longer count than your inhale. Okay, do that for a few breaths. Okay, so at the end of your next exhale, go ahead and blink your eyes open, and on an inhale breath, we're going to reach our arms up overhead. And from here, we're going to interlace fingers above the head, press your palms to the sky. While you press your palms up, let the shoulders drop down your back. Tone your belly in and lift the heart, reaching back. Take a breath. And as you exhale, press your palms straight forward and round your spine back. Good, and we'll do that 2 more times. As you inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, press your palms forward, round your spine back. The spine making kind of a C shape backwards. Sorry, I'm messing with timers here. Good. Okay, I'm sure you finished your 3rd one by now. Okay, on an inhale, we'll reach our arms up overhead again. Take your left hand to the floor and lean over, opening up through the right side. Good, so stretch fingertips to the left as you inhale, and then we're going to switch sides as we exhale. Bring this arm through center, right arm sweeps forward, and then left arm up over the top. You can look up underneath your left arm, see the sky. And then exhale, left arm forward to the left, and switch right arm up. Okay, do that again on the other side. And one more time back and forth with your breath. Exhale, sweep it forward. Inhale, sweep up. Good, come back up to sit. Okay, if you're seated on something, you might consider removing it for this pose. We're just gonna take an easy hip stretch and fold over the legs. So I'll show you from the side. We're going to lift the spine nice and tall and then start to bow at the hips. So it doesn't matter how far we come here, you should be feeling a stretch across the glutes. You might feel that a little bit in the hamstrings or the lateral hamstrings, but mostly in the hips. And as we fold forward, a stretch through the back too. You could place your head on a block on the floor in front of you. Maybe you're able to lay out. Maybe you don't come that far and just a little bit of a lean forward is enough. See that the jaw feels easy here. Unclench your jaw, soften through the mouth, soften through the eyebrows and the forehead, and just let go. On an inhale, we're going to look forward and see if from here, can you root your sit bones into the floor and then reach the arms up from in front of you. Take your arms up overhead. Exhale, take your hands behind you, touch the floor, squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back and press the chest towards the sky. Try not to just drop your head back behind you, but use neck muscles to hold up the head. Squeeze shoulder blades on your back. One more breath. Just enjoy your deep, deep breath. Good. Lean more into your hands and then switch the cross of your legs, other leg in front. Okay. You'll come forward again to a cross-legged position. You can wiggle the sit bones back, and then as you do that, lengthen your spine. Full forward with a long spine as far as you can, and then once the hips have no more flexion to go, then go ahead and drop or fold a little bit deeper. You can round through the upper back. Again, some of us might be up here feeling a big hip stretch. If you have some kind of a prop, you could always put your head on a block. So even in this pose, can you take a three-dimensional breath? Feel your breath all the way around your lungs evenly. We're going to lift up with an inhale and then see if in front of you, can you reach your arms forward, lift them all the way up, and then sweep your arms back. Again, touch the floor, hug the shoulder blades on your back as you press your chest towards the sky. Feel like from the sacrum to the back of your skull, the spine arches in one even arch. Okay, while the front body is open here, make a little extra effort to breathe into the back body. And then we'll come on up to sit. Walk your hands forward in front of you and then uncross your legs and take your feet back. If kneeling on your mat is hard on your knees, you can always put a little fold just right in the middle of your mat, and then you can place your knees on that extra cushion. So we'll take a table pose here, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Okay. So feel the four legs of your table pretty balanced, tone your belly in. On an inhale, reach your right arm to the sky. Feel from your right hip to your right shoulder opening up. Feel like someone's grabbing your hand and just tugging it upward. Breathe into your left ribs as much as the right. And then thread your shoulder underneath, twisted child's pose. So my right shoulder comes all the way down to the ground. I'm going to take my left fingertips and press them on the floor. And I'm going to set my right ear or side of the head to the ground too. I'm going to push into my left hand to twist the chest more to the right. More to the left. And then take your left arm, perhaps, so here's just an option, take your left arm up, and maybe that left arm wraps around your back. I know I saw a lot of more advanced yogis join the class this morning. Of course, at home, if you want to do more, I encourage you to do more or add variations to these poses as you know them. So in a twist, it's much harder to take that three-dimensional breath. So can you find it here? Can you feel your breath evenly all the way around your lungs? Can you identify spaces where there's less breath in the lungs and try to balance it out all the way around? Okay, if your left arm's around your back, let's lift it up, replace it back to the floor, and then push down. And we'll untwist the spine, right arm all the way up to the sky. And then I'm going to tone my belly, and let's reach this right arm forward. So getting into waking up through the shoulder, pull the right arm down the back, stretch those fingertips forward, lean into your right knee, and then maybe you're going to kick the left foot back as well. Okay, really tone your belly in towards the spine. Right away, you should feel your body heating up in this pose as it requires more muscular effort. On an exhale, you're going to bring elbow to knee underneath you. You can even squeeze your nose towards your knee. And then inhale, extend, arm and heel, breathe. Exhale, pumping your breath, pull knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Last one, draw in. As we squeeze underneath, can you hold Arch your spine to the sky and really engage your belly for 3, 2, 1. We'll place everything back down. Okay, we're going to drop our belly towards the floor for cow pose. Let your sit bones widen back, heart forward, look up as you inhale, and exhale, round your spine. 2 more times, belly down as you inhale, chest forward, maybe a little smile as you look up. Exhale, round your back. Again, belly down, inhale. Smiling. Exhale, round your spine. Press to the sky. Good. Back to our neutral spine pose. Press into your right hand, and on an inhale, lift your left arm to the sky. Take a moment to feel the whole left side body stretch. Just enjoy that from the hip to the armpit. And as you exhale, thread your shoulder underneath, left shoulder to the ground. I'm going to push into my right hand to twist my chest more to the left, more to the right. You might be so situated that you can start to look up towards the sky. And if this all feels good, right arm can come up, right arm can wrap around your back for your shorts. You can grab in your yoga pants, your t-shirt, just twist open. Every time you exhale, the heart might turn a little more to the right. 1 more breath. Good. Reach your right arm back up to the sky if it's behind you. Press the right palm to the floor and untwist with your left arm up. Good. And then we're going to sweep our left arm forward. Plug the shoulder blade down the back. Fire up your belly and kick your right leg back on an inhale. Okay, on an exhale, elbow to knee, knee to nose underneath you. Inhale, extend. Exhale together. Inhale, extend. Good. Exhale together. Last one. Hold here. Squeeze for 3, 2, 1. Good. You can place that all back down to the floor. We'll take 1 more cat-cow. Drop the belly down. Inhale here. Maybe smile. Exhale. Round your spine. Good. And from here, if your mat was folded up, mine was, I'm going to stretch it out. We'll come to lie down on our belly. Reach your hands back. Okay, you can touch your thumbs to the floor, chin to the floor, everything down. Take an exhale breath here. And then turn on all of the back body muscles as we inhale, lift up. Good, and exhale, lower back down. Okay, shoulders squeeze on the back. Inhale, lift up. The glutes engage, hamstrings engage, and exhale back down. And 1 more of those. Inhale, lift everything up. And exhale back down. Take your hands by the side ribs. Okay, now press into your hands. So up to you, depending on how your back feels here, you could lift up just a little bit, maybe even no weight in the hands. A lot of you might like to press into the hands and lift higher for a little more extension. Let the shoulders pull down your back, maybe even let the shoulder blades broaden. Can you take a 3-dimensional breath here? Push into your hands a lot. Round your spine back slowly as you exhale, child's pose. You can rest your chin or your forehead to the floor. Good. Push your palms to the ground here. We're going to tuck our toes. The hands are about shoulder width apart, or the inner edges of the palms about shoulder width apart. And then we're going to tuck our toes and lift the knees and slowly start to shift your hips back for a downward facing dog. If this is a lot on your hamstrings, bend your knees more. If the hamstrings feel relatively open, heels can reach towards the floor. You'll feel a calf stretch as the heels push down. See if you can really firm up your shoulder blades on your back and make the arms feel strong. Every time you inhale, lengthen the spine. Feel the little spaces between your vertebrae grow longer. One more breath here. And on your exhale, we're going to bend our knees, and you can walk up to the top of your yoga mat. Here I'm going to push off my shins, halfway lift up for Ardha, or half Uttanasana, intense forward fold. And as we exhale, we'll fold all the way down. So my first pose like this of the day, I'm going to keep my knees bent a lot. My hamstrings need that right now. I'm going to grab opposite elbows so we can hang here in a ragdoll sort of position. Sway a little bit side to side. Breathe the right side of your spine, breathe the left side of your spine, and then notice if the back of the neck is holding the head up at all. If it is, can you soften the back of the neck and let your head go completely? For our last breath here, can you push more into the feet, maybe lift those sitting bones up slightly taller? Good, for a stretch of the hamstrings. And then we're going to press into the feet, tone your belly, strong, long back as we come up. Reach the arms to the sky. Good. Can you really tone your belly in, tuck the pelvis, tailbone down, pubic bone pulls in and up and reach to the sky. Pull your hands to your heart as you exhale. Good. On our inhale, we're going to reach our arms up again. We'll take a half sun salutation here as we exhale back to that pose we just came from. Bend your knees, take a forward fold. You can round your forehead towards your shins, so a little more active this time. Some of us might just touch our shins. Some of us might be able to reach the floor. We're going to halfway lift up with an inhale. Again, I'm going to press off my shins here. Spine should be about parallel to the ground. Feet pressing down. Quads are active. And exhale, we'll fold again. Fingertips go to wherever they reach. Bow your forehead towards shins. Good. Then really press through your feet. Strong back to come up. Reach to the sky. Tone the belly in for almost a hollow body feel. Good. And hands will come to heart as we exhale. Okay, lean into your right foot now, and we're going to take our left foot in a step back. So can you tone your belly, step your left foot back in control if you can, set your toe down and your heel down. Okay, so just exploring some hip opening here with standing poses. Let your forward knee land straight up and down over your ankle. Press into the outer edge of the back foot. Can you squeeze both heels towards center? So squeeze your right heel towards the arch of the back foot. Okay, and then here I'm going to take my left hand to left hip and right palm forward. Turn that palm up. Okay, so push down into both legs. Tone the belly in and up. I'm going to reach this right arm back, exalted warrior. Good. Keep squeezing your inner thighs towards center so the legs are active and powerful here. Can you take a three-dimensional breath in this pose? So can you breathe through the left ribs as well as the right? Good. Come on up, straighten your right leg, bring your hands to your heart. I'm just going to pivot on my feet here. Turn the left foot out to the side, right toes angle in. So that same pose, second side, knee straight up and down over the ankle. Press the outer edge of that back foot down. Let your tailbone be heavy, pull the pubic bone in and up, right hand to hip, left arm forward, palm facing up. Okay, so exhale, feet settle into the floor, and inhale, we're reaching left arm up and back for an arch or a lateral stretch of the left side body. Now you might notice that you dump all your weight back into the right side. Can you push that left foot to the floor? Gather up strength from the core, pelvic floor, low belly to lift up. And a 3-dimensional breath as you lean back, so the breath in the right ribs is full as well. Good, come on up to center, turn your feet parallel. Good, so I'm going to turn my right foot back out to the right side. This time I'm going to leave both legs straight. This will be a prep for triangle pose. Still push your feet into the ground. Reach both arms straight out to the sides. Inhale here. As I exhale, right arm is going to lean forward. So we just hinge at the hips. This motion, right fingertips come to ankle. If you have a block, this is a great place to use it. You could touch your shin or you could touch the floor. Right? If it's a lot to reach down towards your ankle, you could reach higher, top of your shin, maybe even above your knee. Okay, we're going to reach left arm to the sky. And enjoy that beautiful opening across the left side body. Feels really good here. You'll feel some hamstring opening on that right side. And so what is it now to fix your gaze at your top hand and just take a 3-dimensional breath you can feel all the way around the lungs. I've really turned to my breathing practices throughout this situation that we're in, quarantine, global pandemic. I've really turned to my breath to shift my nervous system. So can you come to breath here? Right? Our bodies are getting the benefit just by being in the pose, but work your deep breath. Okay, I'm going to press down through both feet strong, engage my core, and reach up to stand. Strong body. Good. We're going to turn our feet, pivoting back to second side. Left toes will point straight forward on your yoga mat. The right toes will angle in slightly. The feet are on one line from front to back. We're going to open our arms out wide to the sides. Okay, and find this little hinge of your hips as you fold forward. Let it come from a strong core action, holding the spine up. Your left hand can touch your ankle, a block, maybe your shin, or if that's too far for you to bend, maybe even putting your hand above your knee. Okay, top arm can reach up. So this could be a very modified beginner version of triangle pose. That's great. Yeah, and so then instead of taking time to, do all the things that you might know about this pose or perfect it, just go to your breath. Go to that felt sense of your breathing. Notice if there's places in your lungs that feel vacant of your breath, and try to balance the feeling of breath throughout your whole body. Right? Don't judge how you're breathing. There doesn't need to be any story that comes along with how you're breathing. Just notice how the breath is, notice how it feels, and do your best to make it deep. We're going to push down a lot through the feet, and as you inhale, lift up using your core strength. Good job. Turn the feet forward all the way back to the front of our mat. Lean into your right foot, and then lift the left heel. We're going to step that foot forward. Take a moment at the top of your mat. Notice how you feel this morning. Notice how the poses have affected your body, maybe your mind, your energy level, or just sensations that you feel. On an inhale, we'll reach our arms up again. Really stretch towards the sky. So this is one of my favorite poses in yoga. I say that all the time. It's so bright, it's so strong, it's so simple. Right? So engage as you lift up, tone your belly, maybe even smiling with this pose. And as we exhale, let's fold all the way to the ground. Okay, so after those triangle poses, we might be able to fold here a little deeper, right? Our hamstrings have seen a little bit of work already. Inhale, we're going to lift halfway forward, and then step your right foot to the back of your yoga mat, runner's lunge. Okay? Now, if you like, you could drop your back knee to the floor. If you needed, you could put a little blanket or a pillow under your back knee if that's necessary for your comfort. Okay, some of you will keep the back knee up off the ground, so 2 variations of this pose. I'm going to leave my right hand to the floor. Press the feet down and squeeze the inner thighs towards center. And on an inhale, lift the left arm up into the sky. So twisted lunge. Some of us are down here with our back knee on the floor. Okay. Now, as we exhale, touch your left fingertips back to the earth. Okay. 2 more times, that same thing. Inhale, turn the chest open to the left, stretch upward. Exhale, touch your fingertips to the ground. 1 more time. Inhale, reach that arm up to the sky. And exhale, touch both hands to the ground. Okay. So here we're going to step that left foot back to a plank pose. So some of us in high plank, the beginner variation of this pose is to take your knees to the floor. So everybody's shoulders over wrists, tone the belly towards the spine. So you can be in full plank, folks, and I'll demonstrate the beginner variation. We're going to bend our elbows and see if you can pause with your elbows just a little bit bent. Feel the backs of your arms, that's your triceps, start to work. And then press back up. We'll take 2 more of those. You could bend your elbows anywhere from 1 inch, 2 inches to quite a bit deeper. Press up. Good. As you inhale and then as you exhale, 1 more breath going down. A little bit or a lot. Good. Press up. Lower all the way to the floor. Yeah. Here, I'm going to pull my low rib cage a little more forward and then set myself down on the low ribs. I'm going to reach my arms forward for a breath. Push your toes into the floor. See if you can lift your hands. And then I'm going to exhale, turn my thumbs down, reach the hands back. Here, if your shoulders allow for it, interlace your fingers and stretch your knuckles towards the back of your mat. Breathe into the collarbones. Breathe into pectoral muscles front of your chest. And if you want, you could lift your feet up off the ground too. 1 more breath. Okay, we'll lower down. Press your hands by the low ribs. You can take an up bend here if you like, anywhere from a baby cobra to a bigger pose. I'll let you decide. And exhale, we'll take a child's pose, or if some of you want to take a down dog instead, take a down dog instead. 3 breaths. Try to slow down your breath if it got fast at all. Feel your breath in the back of your lungs. Good. And if you're in child's pose, let's come on up. Again, tuck your toes, wide arms, push your palms to the floor, and we'll lift the hips up and back for a down dog. The knees can be bent if the hamstrings are tight. The legs could straighten if the hamstrings are more open. We're going to step our right foot to the top of our mat. So some of us might want to put the back knee down to step that foot up. And just make sure you walk your foot far enough forward so that your knee is over your ankle. Okay. So we're either in a knee down lunge, or some of you will take the back leg up for a high runner's lunge. Leave your left fingertips on the floor. With an inhale, we'll reach the right arm up. On exhale, touch right fingertips to the floor. I'll demonstrate the beginner version again with my knee down. Feel free to keep your knee up 2 more times. Inhale, open into twisted lunge, right arm up. Exhale, touch down. Inhale, reach right arm up. Exhale, touch down. From here, if your back knee is down, we're all going to lift the back knee up, high lunge. Step your left foot forward, top of your mat. Inhale, take an extension through your spine. And exhale, take a bow. Press your feet to the floor strongly. Tone your belly as you come up and inhale, reach to the sky. Hands to heart with your exhale. We're going to lift our left knee to the chest. See if you can hover that knee up in space. Feel your right inner thigh engage and focus your gaze forward for a balance here. Now keep your right foot pressing. Flex your left toes to your shin. And we're going to send this leg back for a warrior three. So those of you strong in your yoga practice, you can come full warrior three. If you are a beginner joining this class, you might feel better if that back leg is just a little bit off the floor. That way you kind of have a safety net if you lose balance and you need to place that toe down. But really firm up your belly. Extend from the crown of your head to your back heel. Unclench your jaw, soften through the face. Good. And then we're going to come back to stand. Bring that knee forward. Maybe even pull that knee up into your chest. Here. Good. Place your left foot to the ground. You can walk out your feet. Shift your weight into your left foot. Lift your right knee. So really firm the pelvic floor and firm the belly here. Flex your right toes to your shin. Fire up through the inner left thigh. And then as you're ready, send this right leg back. Okay, so a firm standing balance pose. Keep your belly toned. Can you turn your right hip to face straight down at the floor? And if you feel like you might lose balance, you can keep that right leg straight and strong and maybe just a few inches off the ground. Right, so anytime our one foot is off the floor, it's a balance. It doesn't matter how high or low that foot is. If it's not on the ground, we're working our balance. With your next exhale, bring that knee forward. Inhale, lift that knee up into your chest. You can grab the knee and pull it upward. Good. Slowly place that right foot down. Good. So now we're going to bring the feet, they could be close together. If they're more comfortable for you about hips width apart, that's going to kind of be a yogi's choice decision right there. So as you feel comfortable with the feet, we're going to bend our knees and then reach the arms up overhead, chair pose. Instead of sticking the butt out, let the tailbone drop down and pull the belly and low ribs in. See if you can lift the chest a little more. Okay, reaching the arms up here should bring a little heat in the shoulders, and you'll definitely feel heat in the quads. Keep your breath balanced and smooth. Keep your three-dimensional breath moving, so feeling breath in the back of the ribs just as much as the front. Good. Sit a little bit lower for one more breath. Good. And on our exhale, hands all the way to the ground. You can shake out the head. You can let the tongue relax in the mouth, release the jaw. We'll place our hands to the floor. Step back to a plank pose. Again, remember, beginner version of plank would be knees down. Tone the belly and slowly bend your elbows towards the floor. Come all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra. Some of you upward facing dog. And shift back to a child's pose or downward facing dog if you'd rather. 3 breaths. Going to come on up. You can sweep your legs forward in front of you. Okay, so we're going to take a pose here called Baddha Konasana. It translates to bound angle pose. I'm going to sit up on my block. I'll show you from the side. So if the hips are more restricted for you, you might want to sit up on something. That could be like a block, a stiffer pillow, maybe 2 pillows stacked on top of one another, whatever you have around your house. And then I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together. Okay? Some of you might not need to sit up on something. This pose feels relatively tight in my body even after all these years of yoga, so I like using a block Again, if your hips fall open here easily, you probably don't need a block. Push the soles of the feet together. Okay? And a little trick here is to squeeze the glutes in towards the midline. You'll get a little bit more inner thigh release or adductor release if we do that. Okay, I'm going to open the tops of the bottoms of my feet towards me, squeeze the glutes, and then here it can fold forward any amount. Again, some of you might be folded very deep. Some people can just lay out here on the floor. Way up here, and I get a good stretch. Keep squeezing the glutes towards the midline. Notice how that'll drop your knees open a little bit further. Okay, and then notice the back of the neck. If I'm craning my head up or if the back of the neck is engaged, could I drop the forehead in? Maybe even seeing into my feet or seeing in towards my belly. 3-dimensional breath. And with an inhale, I'm going to slowly start to lift up. Now, grab the outsides of your knees with your hands, and I'm going to use my hands to bring my legs together. It's kind of a really big one for the groins, the inner thighs. Okay. I was sitting on a block. Again, I'm going to come off of that now, so we'll want to be seated on the ground for this next one. I'm going to take my knees really wide, or my feet wide, and then drop the knees in for a windshield wiper pose. So my inside knee coming towards the arch of my foot. Knees can come through center and to the other side. Take a few times side to side here, releasing in your hips. Good. I'm going to extend right leg along my mat and bring the left foot into my thigh. Okay. So this is like a tree pose, except I'm seated on the floor. Again, right foot long, left foot into the thigh. Now from here, again, if my spine tends to round back, so if there's a tightness in the hamstrings or a tightness in the hips here, it might be beneficial for you to sit up on something. Again, that could be a couch cushion or a pillow if you don't have a block. I'm looking to tilt my pelvis forward, so the sitting bones lengthen back. I'm going to turn my right side body towards the right. And then with the long spine, I'm going to extend over right leg, Janu Shavasana. Go ahead and take a fold over that right side. Hands can come to the shin, the floor, anywhere they easily reach. Still focus on a 3-dimensional breath. So the breath in the left ribs will be obviously expanded in this pose. The breath in the right ribs might be slightly diminished. So try to balance that sensation. Feel your left hip rooting back and down to the floor. And there's this nice opening across the lower side of the left back. Enjoy that. With an inhale, I'll lift my gaze. Once I'm able, root into the seat and reach the arms up to the sky. So lengthen the spine here. You might even lift the chest, maybe even looking upward. Good. I'm going to grab that left knee and bring it in towards center. And then I'm going to set my left foot outside of the right knee. Okay, here, again, if my spine tends to round backwards, you could sit up on something. I'm going to use my back body muscles to sit tall. Reach your right arm to the sky, and on an exhale, twist to the left. Okay, so I like to just wrap my forearm around my knee. A lot of people enjoy to take their elbow outside of their knee. Okay, so just finding a variation that suits your body, that suits your proportions, okay, that suits your flexibility. It's all good. We're twisting over our left shoulder, looking back. And see what you can do about that three-dimensional breath here. You can twist the neck a little more in this pose by looking out to the corner of your, the left corner of both eyes. Turn your chin over the shoulder. Try to see as far to the left and around as you can. Good, turn forward here. Now I'm gonna come to lie down on the back. Okay, so we'll come back up for the second side of that sequence. I'm gonna take thread the needle pose, left ankle atop of my right knee. Okay, here I'm gonna reach my left arm inside of my legs and my right arm around the outside of the right thigh, and I'm gonna clasp my right thigh. Okay, so this is a lovely hip stretch comparable to pigeon pose. I'm going to draw my right knee towards the chest. I'm going to flex my left toes towards my left shin, soften shoulders, jaw, neck, eyebrows, and breathe that left hip stretch. As we come towards stillness of mind, notice what you can hear. Even if it's just the sound of your own breath. Okay, release your legs. Put hands on top, one on top of either knee, and then we're just going to circle through the hips. So you can make big hip circles with your knees. You can go in all directions, maybe opposite directions. Just a little bit of free movement in the hips here. You could rock side to side. And then we're going to rock the length of our mat. You can rock back a few times and rock up to the hips. And when you're finished, we'll come all the way up to sit. Stretch your left leg out. Bring the right foot to the inner left thigh. Here I'm going to twist my belly and torso to the left. So I'm opening up almost into a left side twist, turning my belly button over that front thigh. Again, some of us might be seated on a block for this pose. I'm going to try to hinge from my hips as far as I'm able to start with a long back. Okay. When my hinging of the hips comes to its maximum, at that point, it's okay to let the forehead drop towards the shin. So if the hamstrings are tighter, we might be more up here in this pose. We want to feel a stretch underneath the left thigh, so left hamstring, and hopefully a stretch through the back. You can drop your chin. More flexible, you can press through the left heel and fold a deeper hinge from your hips. Bowing in, forehead to shin, in Shavasana pose. Find your three-dimensional breath here. Pin your right hip back and down to the floor. Feel the lower side, the lower right side of your back opening. Breathe. On an inhale, we'll lift up. Okay, grab your right knee with your right hand and pull that knee to the midline and step your right foot outside of your left knee. Here, we're going to sit both sitting bones to the floor. Reach the left arm up into the sky. Again, nice tall back. Try not to slouch or round. Tone your belly and twist to the left. You can grab your right knee. Twist to the right. You can grab your right knee any way you like. And then twist, looking all the way back over your right shoulder. Maybe you even close your eyes now and just drop into the sweetness of your breath. Again, I think this time requires a little extra effort on our part to tune out at times, tune out the media, tune out the news. Not that we should do that all the time, but we need moments of stillness of the mind, right? We need to be able to change the channel mentally and look inward, to change the channel physically and breathe. So enjoy just the sweetness of your breath here. Okay, untwist. Lie down on your back. Okay, right ankle to left knee. Flex your right toes to your right shin. Thread the needle with your right hand and grab around your left thigh. Okay, we're going to pull the left thigh towards the chest. While you pull your left thigh towards the chest, move your right knee away from you towards the front of your yoga mat. And no tension in the shoulders or jaw required. See what you can relax. These yoga practices should set us up to feel an experience of stillness of the mind. Right? All of the physical benefit is like a side effect. Of course, it feels so good physically, right? It balances our body from from other forms of exercise that we do, right? But the really big reward of yoga practice is stillness of the mind. So see if you've been able to change the channel mentally. Right? Quiet down a little more for these last few moments. Notice the sweetness of stillness. Release your legs as you're ready. If you'd like to windshield wiper your legs here one more time, go ahead. So that's feet wide on the mat and a swivel of the hips side to side. So I'm running out of time for this Instagram live yoga class. If you'd like to take a bridge pose or a simple twist here, you might finish your class with that. Or if you're ready, you can stretch the legs out and you can begin your Shavasana now. So again, taking what you need to finish your yoga practice in a way that feels good to you this morning. I'll leave you to practice Shavasana on your own. So when you're ready, go ahead and lay out. Again, a new class will be up on YouTube today. Go ahead and check that out later. I'll also post the schedule of classes for this upcoming week on Instagram and Facebook. Watch out for that. If you'd like to make a donation via Venmo, it's at Soul Shape Yoga. But again, the classes are free, so please feel free to enjoy the classes just for no money, no donation. I'm just happy to be here with you. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this Sunday morning. Aloha and namaste. Thank you all again for joining me for this class today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. New classes coming out every week. Thank you.